Happening right now, King Day at the Dome, a live look from the State House where community leaders, activists, and many of the top Democratic presidential candidates all in town speaking from the steps of our state. You're seeing Tom Steyer speaking at this moment. It's the 20th anniversary of the event hosted by the South Carolina NAACP. It started as a march to bring down the Confederate flag, which at the time was still flying on top of the State House dome. A similar march took place about an hour and a half ago from Washington Street. Today, several 2020 presidential candidates participating in that march to the King Day at the Dome rally and what's considered an important stop on the campaign trail for many. If you'd like to watch the rally live, we're streaming it right now on WIS-TV.com, the WIS News 10 app, and the WIS News 10 Facebook page. We have live team coverage just moments away on WIS News at noon, but it's a chilly day out there at the State House, and there are even colder days ahead. First Alert meteorologist Tim Miller is in the First Alert Weather Center tracking those finally winter-like temperatures, right, Tim?
That's exactly right, Emily. Winter's been missing in action here.
Tim, thank you. It's a day of service, a time to empower individuals, a day dedicated to strengthening communities, all things highlighted in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. And on this 27th MLK Day, a march and rally through downtown Columbia for the 20th consecutive year drew an estimated crowd of 2,500 people and some of the biggest names in politics right now. Now we have team coverage for you this afternoon live from the State House with Jason Raven and Adam Mincer on the significance of this event and why it attracts presidential candidates fighting for your vote. Jason, we start with you. There are hundreds of people out there for today's rally.
Yeah, Emily, the Department of Public Safety says they estimate there are about 2,500 people out here. I'll get out of the way so you can take a look at the crowd. I've spoke with some people out here.
Jason, thank you. And Jason will be back with more coverage and crowd reaction in our later shows this evening. For now, let's send things over to Adam Mincer, also there at King Day at the Dome. Adam, many voters you've spoken with today say they came to this event to hear from candidates, some speaking right now.
We've heard 3 candidates so far, and I believe we have Senator Elizabeth Warren taking the stage right now.
Adam, let's talk a little bit more about that. We talked about how these are the top polling candidates here in the Midlands today, and these are the people you may have seen on debate stages already. It's very likely one of them will go against President Trump in November. So why is this event a must-stop on the campaign trail?
Democrats in South Carolina have called this the event.
Thank you, Adam. Another Midlands tradition to mark the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, the Urban League MLK breakfast. That was this morning at Brooklyn Baptist Church in West Columbia. Columbia Urban League President J.T. McLaughlin says this was the event's biggest turnout ever. This is likely because of the 4 presidential candidates in attendance. Former Vice President Joe Biden, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, former Governor Deval Patrick, and Tom Steyer were all given a few minutes to address the crowd. Local leaders, including 5th Circuit Solicitor Brian Gibson, also there to celebrate the legacy of Dr. King and his work to confront racial injustices while promoting inclusion and economic justice for all.
It can be argued that Dr. King, between the years of 1955 and 1968, those 13 years, did more to positively affect the present and the future of black folks in America than most of us will ever do in our lifetimes. One of the things that Dr. King said is the quality, not the longevity of one's life, is what's most important.
University of South Carolina President Bob Caslen was today's keynote speaker. At this morning's event, I had a chance to speak with candidate Deval Patrick one-on-one. I asked him about his approach to getting more voter support with his poll numbers falling behind the other candidates since he's entered the race.
Polls don't vote, people do. It's about meeting the people and making my case. South Carolina voters are critical to the future of this country. I remember stumping for Barack Obama here in 2008, and I'm looking to prick that conscience again.
Yesterday, we also spoke one-on-one with a couple of the candidates in town ahead of today's events, Joe Biden and Tom Steyer, who are currently at 1 and 2 in South Carolina. And the most recent polls held campaign events in the Midlands over the weekend. We spoke with each of them about things they've been criticized for ahead of the primary. Tom Steyer's opponents accuse him of buying his way into the race, but he told our Adam Mincer during a sit-down here in our studio that isn't the case.
Look, first of all, nobody can buy votes. That's an insult to the voters. What is true is this race is about message, and it's about who you are. I am saying something, everything I've said to you, no one else is saying. No one's talking about term limits. No one's talking about climate as their #1 priority. No one's saying that you are going to have to take on Mr. Trump on the economy and go toe-to-toe and beat him, and that they can do it. I'm the one who can do that.
Joe Biden has also faced criticism from opponents, most recently Bernie Sanders. Nationally, the Sanders campaign has attacked Biden for his stance on Social Security. In South Carolina, Sanders supporters are attacking the former VP, claiming he's betrayed black voters. It's something Biden disputes. He called it, quote, a desperation on the part of some of the candidates who are now going back 35 years to try and pick a sentence that was said or was not said. The Republican National Committee released a statement about both Biden and Steyer and their visits this weekend, saying, quote, Tom Steyer is blowing millions of his own dollars on the vanity campaign. South Carolinians are finally getting ahead thanks to President Trump's leadership and have zero interest in the California billionaire's radical agenda. Also saying this, after abandoning South Carolinians for nearly 2 months, Joe Biden is finally back, but South Carolinians won't care because President Trump continues to deliver for them, whether it be renegotiating 2 trade deals or giving voters a tax break. It's clear that President Trump always keeps his promises. If you plan to vote in the Democratic presidential primary in our state, you have 11 days to register. South Carolina is the 4th primary in the nation and the 1st in the South. Now, that'll happen February 29th, but the deadline to register is January 30th. You can choose to register by mail, fax, or online. Election officials say you should also double check your address listed on your voter registration and check your polling place. That could be different than the municipal elections from this past November. It's set to be a historic week in Washington with the impeachment trial for President Donald Trump set to begin tomorrow. The final preparations underway today for both the House and Democrats, plus President Trump's legal team.
Well, how about some warmer temperatures? I know we're just experiencing our cold temperatures over the last, 24 hours and even colder in the next few days. But by the next 10 to 14 days, we could be well above average once again. Your forecast coming up.
Looking ahead now to a historic week in Washington. Today, President Donald Trump's legal team and House Democrats are finalizing their arguments for the impeachment trial, which starts tomorrow. This morning, House managers toured the Senate chamber, preparing for that trial to begin. On the president's side, an outline of the defense is due this afternoon. Yesterday, people on both teams making their rounds on various news outlets, giving their take ahead of the big day.
Our case is simple. The facts are uncontested and the evidence is overwhelming.
You have a lot of evidence, disputed evidence, could go both ways, but the vote was to impeach on abuse of power, which is not within the constitutional criteria for impeachment.
Republicans are requesting a 12-hour day. Democrats are arguing against that, concerned their best arguments against the president could fall in the middle of the night when the public is not watching. But no matter what ends up happening, you'll be able to watch that trial right here on WIS News 10. While the trial is ongoing, you can still get your local headlines as well. WIS News at 4 and News at 5 will air on Columbia's CW. That's channel 10.2 over the air and channel 7 for Spectrum. Of course, we'll also stream our newscast live on WIS-TV.com and your free WIS News app. So, Tim, you said people have been asking you for the winter temperatures. Here you go. I hope you all are happy.
That's right. Winter's now here. Now, how do you feel?
Right.
Well, you know what? We need this, right? Because it gets so hot in the summer. So
Right.
this is something we can look forward to. The deal is, though, it's not going to last long. I'm with you on that one, though. Highs in the 40s, continuing through Wednesday, and lows in the 20s. We'll detail your forecast coming up.
Thanks, Tim. More than a week after a tornado ripped across the North Central High School campus, much of the damage remains. Check out the incredible video you're seeing here of the moment that tornado hit the building. The National Weather Service confirming it was an EF2 tornado, something our First Alert weather team says is rare. That means the tornado had winds up to 130 miles per hour. School officials say it took just 60 seconds for those winds to leave behind the severe damage you've seen at that school. Crews have been hard at work clearing some of the lighter debris from inside that building, but soon a decision about the future of the building will have to be made. Many of the students are disappointed they won't ever get the chance to call North Central home again.
The first day was really sad, coming back and seeing the teachers, how sad they were. But it was good, I think, for the teachers to see the students, because we were trying our best to be happy and positive for them.
Of course, seniors will not be returning to that building. The Kershaw County School District has not released an official damage estimate, but says the number will be well into the millions. District officials have said if the cost to repair the building is more than rebuilding altogether, the school will be demolished. Many people use Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a day to give back, and that's no different here in the Midlands, how people are helping their communities on this day of service. Happening today, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is the only federal holiday recognized as a national day of service. It serves to inspire Americans to have a day on rather than a day off and volunteer to improve their communities. Some got a jump start on their service projects this weekend, including those spending their time to help repair several homes in town. Midtown Fellowship, in partnership with Homeworks, held a Serve the City event Saturday. Volunteers fixed kitchen floorboards, cleared roofs, caulked windows, and much more at 2 homes in town. One of those homes is owned by Joanne Davis, who says she is eternally grateful for the work the volunteers do.
That's wonderful that they take out their time to come and do things for senior citizens like myself.
Seeing all the work come together and everybody doing little parts to do something really big and help this sweet woman out.
Homeworks typically focuses on assisting widows around 70 years old with an annual income of under $12,000. To learn more, check out this story on WIS-TV.com. Student athletes from across South Carolina also served this weekend, helping to repaint the Carver Lyon Elementary School bathrooms with positive and inspirational quotes. Organizers at the school say they hope events like this will help motivate other students to get involved and help out in any way they can.
Hopefully they were able to take something away from this so that when it's time to help others, when community service becomes a big part of something that they have to do, that is organic, that is natural, and is not something that they have to do because of some requirement.
There are other service events happening right now across the Midlands, all in honor of Dr. King. And if you're out at some of those events, you may run into some familiar faces here at WIS. Our Cami Raisler and Alicia Barnes were out at Palmetto Pride's cleanup blitz earlier. So nice that they were able to get out and help. It's one of those gifts that you don't have to pay anything for, to give away, and it feels really good to do it.
It does feel absolutely. And nobody was sweating outside. I can assure
not
you
at all.
Temperatures in the 40s will continue that trend for the next few days, and cold again tomorrow in the 20s as we're off to work in school. So January's here.
Yeah, some people are cheering. Me, not so much. I was outside this morning.
Yes,
you need to bundle up for sure. But glad at least some of you are enjoying these cooler temperatures. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Thanks for watching.